Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome to the stage Vogt.
Hi, everybody, guys. So honored to be your auctioneer tonight. I am Rob Vogt from Vogt Auction Galleries here in San Antonio, Texas. I am Texas Auctioneer's License 15958. It's an incredible honor to be part of this, and it's kind of a fun story. My dad was actually the auctioneer of this event back in the 1990s. Back when the Briscoe wasn't even around yet, and it was out over at the Sky Room at the University of Incarnate Word at the time. And he told me a story last night about how he was on the elevator with Dolph and Janie Briscoe and how nice they were to him. And so it's just a really warm feeling to be here, to be part of this. I see a lot of familiar faces, and I see you guys out there in the courtyard also. Hi. And just an honor to be part of this, the wonderful Briscoe's legendary live auction event. This year, in addition to this sold-out event, we're also simulcasting the sale to bidders across the country. And before we begin, there are some rules of the sale that we need to go over. So you can find those in your catalog, and also I think they're going to put up a QR code, maybe, and you can scan that. But anyway, the important points are there is a 15% buyer's premium added to the hammer price of every winning bid. Okay, we're very proud that is the lowest buyer's premium in the industry, okay? Online bidders, that's 20% buyer's premium. If you pay with credit card, that's the 3% fee. And if you are the winning bidder in something tonight, then you can go over to the museum's first floor. They have a payment station there, and the team can take care of you before you leave. If you're an online or telephone winning bidder, then we're going to email you an invoice right after the auction is over, okay? So we're going to have some fun. We've got a great group of 25 artworks from 25 wonderful artists, a lot of whom you'll recognize. They're all winners because Tim Newton, our curator, put together a great collection. So we're going to raise some money, have a good time. Good luck to everybody. All right, we're going to bring up the first lot. This is from Don Oelze, and there it is. And here it is coming out. You love to start with a winner, right? This is that, because this is an incredible canvas. In fact, Tim told me that he saw this apparently 9 months ago. Is that right? Something like 9 months ago. Somehow, and he said, Don, he called Don immediately. He said, you've got to put this one on the shelf. Do not sell it. Do not put it in the gallery. I need this for the show. And Don was gracious enough to do that for us. And so it's an incredible canvas. It sort of speaks for itself. And then I'll quote you again, Tim. We'll be doing that a lot tonight. So Tim always talks about a nice painting has a story. So have a story, have a narrative. And this one is exactly that, because you see these two native horsemen up on the ridge there looking down into the river valley. And you see these sort of first signs of the early fall frost coming up over the long, distant horizon. And so this hunt that they're on, their hunters, has taken on a new sense of urgency, because they have to make sure that they're going to get the provisions they need to make it through the winter, right? So this is just a beautiful piece. Don is incredibly highly awarded, highly collected artist, of course. I think his world record was set in Coeur d'Alene, maybe at 166,000. So an important artist here, and I think the canvas just speaks for itself. So a lot of interest here. We're going to have online bidding. We got 7,500. We'll start there. Okay, how about that? How about 8,000 now? 8,000 where? You can all bid. Just, by the way, we have spotters around the room. Just raise your hand, raise your bid paddle. It's easy to bid. 8,000, I've got your bid. How about 8,500? At 8,500, we're 8,500 again. How about 9,000? 9,000 on the telephone. Now 90, now 10,000, now 11,000. Back to you. Or back, new bidder, 11,000 in the room. Now 12,000. She's in the lead at 12,000. You guys out here can bid. I know we've aspired. 12,000 back here. Thank you, Rick. Now 13,000 where? 13 again, now 14. Go ahead at 14. It's a beautiful 14. Thank you, sir. Now 15 here. Now 16. Would you do 16? No, she's in the lead. Now 16. Now you can bid 16. He's in the lead. 17 in the front row. Thank you. Now 18. At 18 where? 18, she's right back. Now 19, what are y'all going to do? 19, you're going to bid. Now 20,000. At 20,000, I'm sorry, I keep missing you. I'll give you a chance before we're done, I promise. Everyone gets a chance. At 20,000, I don't want to miss any bids outside. This is a wonderful piece by Don. At 20,000, guys. At 19, now 20,000. You guys out here, I've sat here in past shows. I know how it is to be in the garden. At 20,000, I do not want to hit that canvas. Sorry, 20,000 you have? Okay, I'll take that bid. Now 21,000, everybody. At 21,000 next. All right, who's in the lead? At 21, he is. Thank you very much. Now 21, can you do 21,000? Yes, you can. Now 22,000. At 22, think about what you're getting. At 22,000, at 22,000, 21, now 22,000. Anyone else at 20? He's back. 22,000. Yes, sir. Now 23,000. at 23,000, or on the 23,000, yes ma'am. Now 24,000. Oh, you can do it at 24,000, another $1,000, no big deal. At 24,000, 23 now 24,000. At 24,000, again, don't want to miss the bidders over here at 24,000. If you guys want to bid out in the garden courtyard at 24,000, anyone else at 24,000 once. 24,000. I have a new bidder. I have a new bidder, everybody. 24,000 is bid. Thank you, ma'am. How about 25,000? Now she's got to think about it. 25, yes. No, not that long. Now 26, now 27. No hesitation there. 27, back to you. All right, now 28. Now 29. I know it was so fast. At 29. She's crossing her arms, everybody. 29,000. Real clear body language. 29,000. One more time. 29, yes, ma'am. Yes to you. Okay, now 30,000. Or 30,000 over here. Or 30,000 anywhere else. All right, you're in the lead at 29,000, just to be clear. At 30,000, anyone else at 30,000, the phone bidder is out. At 30,000 online or elsewhere at 30,000 once, 30,000 twice. Guys, I'm selling it. Fair warning then. Sold. $29,000 right over here. Congratulations, great start. Thank you. Did you get that? Okay. 372. Okay. All right, we're going to move right on to lot number 2. This is the wonderful Mary Ross Buchholz. This, guys, can you imagine being able and having the skill to do this kind of artwork in pencil and charcoal? It's incredible, the sheen on the back of the horse hair. So you see the little foal who's looking for shelter underneath the broodmare. Interesting composition, very, very sensitive work from this artist, and just a really good piece. Now, this artist, of course, has been part of the Briscoe in the past. So, who will start me off at $5,000? At $5,000, we're here on lot number 2, and we'll start there at $5,000. Y'all bid him at $5,000. Thank you, appreciate that. Now $5,500 next. At $5,000, now $5,500. You guys, I have a bid out there. $5,500. Thank you. Now $6,000. Mr. H at $6,000. $6,000. Anyone else at $6,000? $5,500 at $6,000. At $6,000, boy, it's better than that, isn't it? $6,000. $6,000. $6,000. Another bid out there. Are you guys 6,000? 6,000, yes you are. Thank you very much. Now 6,500. At 6,000, now 6,500. Very impressive piece in person. Really a nice large format. At 6,000 next. At 5,500, now 6,000. At 6,000, anyone else says 6,000? Boy, it's better than that, isn't it? 6,000. 5,500, now 6,000. 6,000 where? 6,000 in the room. I've got a new bidder in the room. Now 6,500. Go ahead at 6,500. 6,000 now 6,500. Back at you. Thank you. Now 7 at 7,000. Where was my bidder at 7,000? The black hat at 7,000. I have a new bidder. Now 7,500. Right back at you. 7,500. Yes. Now 8,000. 7,500. Now 8,000. Who's going to bid against him at 8,000? 7,500 and 8,000. A very determined bidder out there in the garden at $8,000. 7,500 now $8,000. Anyone else at 8,000? 8,000 I have. Now 8,500. At 8,500. Yes. Now 9,000. 9,500. 10,000 even. 95 now 10,000. At 10,000. 9,750. Okay, I'll do that. Now 10,000. Oh, yeah. Now 11,000. 10,000 now 11,000. Well, okay. Appreciate your help. Anyone else at $11,000? 10,000 now 11,000. At $11,000 here on lot number 2. Fair warning that 11,000. Don't want to miss you. We had some folks complaining about missed bids. We're not going to miss your bid. Darn it. At 10,000 now 11. At 10,000 now 11. Going once. Going twice. Fair warning. Are we done? We're not done. 11,000. 11,000. Thank you very much. Oh, boy. Now what are you going to do? 12,000? Ah, what the hell? Why not? 12,000? 12,000! And he stood up with his paddle. 12,000 is bid out in the card. All right, how about 13? We're not done yet. 13,000. 12,000 now 13, y'all. At 13, 12,000 now 13. All right, now 14. Uh-oh. 14, 13 now 14. So who the hell's in there? 14,000, 13, 14,000, and now 15. 14 now 15. I'm going to get my steps in tonight. 15,000, 14 now 15. What do you want to do? It's a nice round number, right? 15,000, 14 now 15. At 15,000. This is one of those ones where the closer you get, the more you're amazed. You want to do a cut bid? I'll do a cut bid. 14.5, now 15. At 15,000. She did a cut bid. 14.5, now 15. Gentleman in the hat, 15,000. Yes or no? Yes. Now Now what? 16? You say no? All right. Really appreciate those bids. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. He is in the lead at 15,000. Once again, I'm saying fair warning at 16,000 once, 16,000 twice. Selling? Sold. $15,000. The very determined cowboy out there. Congratulations. Say again? What? 193. 193, the bidder there. Okay. Lot number 3, I mean, you know. Okay. Kim Wiggins, the unmistakable Kim Wiggins, this incredible, incredible artist, guys. You know that there's one upstairs or here in the museum that's just a knockout. One of the signs of a very, very good artist that's going to have a legacy forever is that when you look across the room, you know who that artist is, right? And this is a Kim Wiggins, and you know that this is a Kim Wiggins from across the room. So that's going to be a built legacy forever and ever. This is a scene from Taos. This is the elk in the foreground, the Sangre de Cristo Mountains there in the background, this really beautiful piece. And again, I mean, you know, this guy's won every award there is to be won. So here we go. We'll say $5,000. Let's not screw around it. $5,000 on this beautiful Kim Wiggins at $5,000. You can start it off. $5,000, I have it. Thank you very much, sir. On the front table here, now $5,500 next. At $5,000, now $5,500. This is an absolute stunner. At $5,500, $5,000, now $5,500, y'all. At $5,500, $5,000, $5,500. If you guys want to bid here on the Kim Wiggins, you see it right here with Aiden. At $5,500, $5,000, now $5,500. Let me know. At $5,500, you have a bid? At $5,500 online. All right, now $6,000. At $6,000, where? New bidder over here. At $6,000, gentleman back in the hat. $6,000, he's in the lead. Now $6,500. What do you want to do? At $6,500, $6,000, now $6,500, y'all. $6,500 back online. Now $7,000 even. At $7,000, I see you. Thank you, sir. At $7,000, back in the room. Now $7,500. At $7,000, now $7,500. At $7,500, it's kind of fun having bids coming from everywhere. $7,500 next. Everyone outside. $7,500 here on a Kim Wiggins. At $7,500, new bidder. Thank you. Now 8 even. At $8,000. Yes, sir. All right, now $8,500. All right, he's back in the lead. $8,000, now $8,500. Here it is. Beautiful. Pops off the wall. $8,500. $8,000, now $8,500. $8,000, now $8,500. You guys want to get back in. $8,500. Anyone else? Are you guys online at $8,500? Fair warning then on the Kim Wiggins at $8,500. Boy, I think it's a better painting than that. $8,500 once. $8,500 new bidder. Now $9,000 even. You almost had it. $9,000. I need $9,000. Yes, sir, and I got it. Now $9,500. At $9,500, this gentleman's back in the lead. At $9,000, need $9,500. Yes. Now $10,000. Who's going to get this one? At $10,000 even. No? All right. Appreciate all your bids. Thank you. At $10,000, anyone else? This gentleman over here is in the lead at $9,500. Now, nice round number, $10,000. Anyone else on this? Kim Wiggins at $10,000. In my opinion, as an art auctioneer, I think this will go up in value. Just saying. I really do. It's been a hell of an asset class, right? All these artworks. It really has. And a lot of times, and then in the meantime, you can put it up on your wall and you have a beautiful painting. It's a heck of a deal. All right, at $10,000, he's back. Did that argument work? Now $11,000. At $11,000. $10,000, now $11,000. At $11,000. Anyone else at $11,000? All right, he is in the lead. I don't want to miss you. At $11,000 once. $11,000 twice, guys, on the Kim Wiggins, or I'm going to say sold. Here we go. Fair warning then. Sold. Sold. $10,000 over here. The gentleman, he went the whole distance. 195. 195. Thank you. All right, lot number 4. Okay, this is a local artist. This is one of our favorites. In fact, he's doing an artist demonstration here at the Briscoe on April 10th. So Mark Kohler, this is a watercolor now. We're changing mediums. So this is a very, very impressive watercolor. It's called Peridot and Cremello. They're still excited about the Kim Wiggins over there. Peridot and Cremello. So you guys might know that Cremello is a certain horse breed that's known for this very cream-colored skin, or fur, I should say, hair. What's wrong with me? And then Peridot, of course, is that green birthstone, and that describes the beautiful dress, the color of the dress that the Mexican charreada rider is on the horseback wearing. So another fact about this one, again, the local artist, the model that he used for the Mexican charreada is a local person from here in San Antonio. So this is a wonderful piece by an artist that we know well, Mark Kohler, and we'll start off at where? $2,500, okay? How about 2750? At 2500 now 2750 here on lot number, I have it in the room. Lot number 4, now 3,000 even. 2750 now $3,000. At 23,000 I have, now 3250. You're in the lead, yes. Now 3250 next. At 3250, 3,000 now 3250. At 3,000 now 3250 to buy. 3250. Well, you're in the lead. Do you want to raise your own bid? 3250. I'll let you do that. Now 3,500. Yeah, what the hell? As long as you're aware, or even if you're not. At 3,500, 3250 now 3,500. At 3,500, 3250 now 3,500. Boys, better than that. 3,500, 3,500. Yes. Now 3,750. Now 4,000. We've got several bids. What do you want? 4,000. I've got 4 hands in the air. I'm going to take his bid because he started me off. Now 4,250. How about that? He's back in the lead. 4,250. Yes. Now 4,500. At 40. Yes. Now 4,750. Yes. Now 5,000. Yes. Now 5,500. I'll take your bid if you like. 5,500 here. Yes. Now 6,000. Yes, now 6,500. Who's going to get the Kohler? 6,500, now 7,000. At 7,000, we'll think about it, excuse me. At 7,000, all right, you guys had a bidder out here. How about $7,000 here? We're still selling lot number 4, guys. At 6,500, now 7,000. My bidder in the lead is in the room at 7,000 next. At 7,000, anyone else is $7,000. Fair warning at 7,000. Again, don't want to miss you. 7,000. Anyone else is 7,000. Fair warning again. You guys want to do one more bid at 7,000? Might do it. 7,000, sure. Now 7,500. All right, see? Appreciate your help. At 7,500, anyone else is 7,500. Fair warning again on lot number 4 here. It's 75 at 7,000 at 7,500. Fair warning at 7,500. Anyone else? Fair warning again. Selling. Sold. $7,000. The winner over here. 188. 188. Got it. 188. Okay, so as Tim says, again, have a story. What I was struck by when I was doing research on all these paintings is that in so many cases, the artist will have a moment in their own life when they're out there scouting or they're hiking or they're going around the country in the American West looking at places. Now, Kelly Singleton was hiking in the Lamar Valley of Yellowstone National Park. It had just snowed, and you can see the fresh snow here in this canvas, even some snow mist still in the air. And out of nowhere on that ridge, this pronghorn antelope just popped up. And it was such an interesting moment and such a pop of color against the entire white sky and ground that she was just taken aback and just thought, okay, I have to memorialize this in a painting. And that's what this is, this beautiful painting here from Kelly Singleton. Again, a highly decorated artist that we've had here at the Briscoe before. And we'll start off here at 7,500. Thank you. Now 8,000 next. At 7,500, now 8,000 to buy. 7,500, now 8,000. Go ahead at 8,000. 7,500, now $8,000. At 8,000, at 8,000. And he advances at 8,000. 7,500, now 8,000. Give you a chance to catch up. There you go. 8,000. I have a bidder here. Now 8,500. 8,000, now 8,500. Now you can bid if you like. At 8,500, 8,000, now 8,500. At 8,000, now 8,500. It's got to be a good price, doesn't it? At 8,500, 8,000, now 8,500. Again, set in the Lamar Valley of Yellowstone National Park at $8,500. 8,000, now 8,500. 8,000, now 8,500. Anyone else on lot number 5, 8,500. At 8,500, you guys come and see this painting. At 8,000, now 8,500. At 8,500, yes, now 9,000. At 9,000, 8,500 to 9,000. 8,500 now 9,000. At 9,000, you want to bid again? At 9,000, I've got it back. Would you do? Well, if you're 9,500, would you do 10,000? One time. Now 11. Well, 11. Would you like? He was right ahead of you. Would you like 11? Okay, thank you. I have 11 back in the corner. Now 12. At 12. At 12,000. I can tell you've been to auctions before. At 12,000, 11,000, now 12,000 a few times, right? At 12,000, she's in the lead. 11,000, now 12. Would you like 12,000 on this one, on the Singleton? You want to cut bid? 11,500. Now 12, I'll do it. 12 in the room. We don't do 12,500. One time. Now 13. It's going to be the catchphrase of the night. 13,500. 2 times. All right, appreciate your help. Thank you. All right, still in the lead over there, 13. Now 13,500. Anyone else? It's only fair. I'll give a cut bid opportunity to everyone at 13,500. Is that okay, Natalie? At 13,500. At 13,500. Anyone else out here at 13,500 on lot number 5 from Kelly Singleton, the piece set in the Yellowstone National Park at 13,500. Fair warning that at 13,500. Selling. Sold. 13,000 over there. 192. 192 wins. Thank you. All right. This is, again, one of those ones that has a story. So Brandon Bailey, this guy actually used to be a bull rider. And he said, if I can do that, I can be an artist. I don't know. I'll tell you. So this is another one with a story. This is called Many Soldiers. And this is a Lakota Wolf Scout. You see the wolf pelt, of course, there on the back of the gentleman. And he has just seen a big group of U.S. cavalry soldiers. And so he's going to go back now to his war party and report what he's seen. And so, again, this is such a great narrative, such great lighting in this piece. And, you know, we don't usually talk about frames. A lot of these have beautiful frames tonight, guys. This is a very, very complimentary frame. And there's an art to framing, as I'm sure you know. So we'll start off here at, I don't know, $2,000. Anyone want to raise their hand at $2,000 here on the Brandon Bailey, lot number 6 at $2,000 with her. Appreciate that. And now $2,250 would be next. $2,000 now, $2,250 back there. Now $2,500. At $2,500, and everyone can bid. At $2,500, $2,250 now, $2,500. You want to bid again, ma'am? At $2,500 only. At $2,500, I've got a bid outside with Dalton. Thank you. Now $2,750. Back with you. Now $3,000. At $3,000, back with you. I'm way back by the screen, Dalton. At $3,000, you have two bidders. Now $3,250, and they can bid again if they like, or $3,250 over here. $3,250. I'm in the room. I'm in the room, Dalton. Would you guys want $3,500? Okay, $3,500. You're in the lead. Would you like $3,750? Gentlemen standing next to Dalton, $3,750. I'm sorry I kept missing you. Now $4,000. I'll give everyone a chance before I say sold, I promise. It's that last bid that counts after all. Now $4,250 back to the gentleman. At $4,250. At $4,250. She's in the lead at $4,000. $4,250. Take another look. I have $4,250 inside. Inside $4,250. Now in the lead. Now $4,500. What do they want to do? $4,500. He's going to bid this time. Now $4,750. Several bidders playing along here. At $4,750, $4,000, $4,500. Now $4,750. At $4,750, does she want to bid again? At $4,750. At $4,750, guys. All right, he's still in the lead at $4,500. Now $4,750, and you guys inside can bid if you want it. $4,750. One more time on the Brandon Bailey at $4,750. At $4,750. Fair warning then. And selling at $4,750. Are we done? We are not. Now 5,000. That's how you spot a bid. Yes, sir. I like it. Now 5,000, guys. All right, we got a bid inside. Now 5,000. All right, we're back. How about 5,500? Okay, now what? At 5,500, you can do that big yelp again. Make it worth your money. At 5,500. At 5,500. Guys outside in the lead. At 5,500, anyone else here on the Bailey? I'm going to sell it, guys. I mean it. At 5,500 once. 5,500 twice. Appreciate your bid. At 5,500, one last time. Selling. Sold. $5,000 outside. 102. Congratulations. You got the Bailey. All right. Okay. This is a major work coming up. What's that? 102. Sorry about that. 102. Yeah, here's the Nancy Dunlop Cawdrey. Here again, an incredibly impressive piece in person. This is actually a very unique medium that Cawdrey is known for. This is actually dye on silk. So dye on silk. And again, you talk about having a story. So one of the best stories ever, a Wikipedia page a mile long. So this figure here on the left of the canvas is Thorny Rose. Thorny Rose is a real person. And she was a member of Butch Cassidy's Wild Bunch. So this is called Thorny Rose and the Wild Bunch. Can you imagine? So she was a female outlaw, and back in the 1800s, and she would go around just on raids with them and did everything that they did. And here she is there on the left, as I say. So you have this beautiful dynamism to this piece coming at you, wonderful coloring, and just, again, an incredible story about that person. Her name, real life, was Laura Boyan, but she went by Thorny Rose, and I encourage you to look up her story because it's incredible. So we'll start off here at, I don't know, we'll say $8,000. At $8,000 in this beautiful piece, this is going to be very, very impressive. Anywhere you put it, in your house, in your ranch, in your office, at $8,000. $8,000, thank you. I have it now. Would you do $8,500? They were right ahead of you. Would you do $8,500? They were right ahead of you. Would you do $8,500? $8,500. Anyone else at $8,500? Sure. Now $9,000. $8,500 now $9,000. They say no at $9,000. Anyone else at $9,000? $8,500 now $9,000. At $9,000, better painting here. Oh, it's again beautifully framed with that brass plaque there at the bottom. It's really nice to have. At $8,500 now $9,000. $8,500 now $9,000. Anyone out here want to bid? $9,000. Thank you. Now $9,500. At $9,500, back to you if you like. where was she? There's 9,500. 9,000 at 9,500. This is, again, the Nancy Dunlop Cawdrey, Thorny Rose and the Wild Bunch. It's just such a beautiful painting in person, isn't it? At 9,500, 9,000, 9,500. They're back. Now 10,000. At 10,000, 9,500, now 10,000. Everyone can bid. 9,500, now 10,000. 9,500, now 10,000. This is one of the ones that just was so impressive up in the gallery. When you look at it again, I say this is such a cliche, but I don't care. It pops off the wall. It's got that dynamism coming right towards the viewer. It's really a good piece. She's in the lead at 9,500. Now 10,000 even. At 10,000. At 10,000 where? 9,500, now 10,000. At 10,000. Anyone else at 10,000? 10,000. One more time. Okay. Well, I guess 11,000 is next. 10 now 11. 10 now 11,000. At 11,000. 10 now 11. They're talking about it. Would 10.5 help? 10,500. I'll take that if you like. At 10,500. 10,500 here on lot number 7. 10,500. And again, everyone can bid. At 10,500. You got that online? Okay. 10,500. You guys want to bid one more time at 10,005 on the Cawdrey? Yes. Well, we have a new bidder. Thank you, Mr. D. You're going to get the spotter award tonight. That's not a real thing, by the way, but congratulations. Now 11,000. At 11,000, anyone outside at 11,000? 10.5 now 11,000. At 11,000, all right. At 11,000, one more time, where I'm going to say sold, guys. 11,000 once. 11,000 twice. Fair and final. Selling. Sold. 10.5. Mr. D over there. Thank you, sir. What was your, do you have a bid paddle? I know. Now we got to find the damn bid paddle. Well, that's Wyatt Ranches, which is great. The other side has a number on it. 226. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Okay. Moving on. This is the Vogel. This is one of the coolest pieces for what it is in the entire auction. Here again, very, very a testament to Tim's persuasive powers, because this was apparently in Jim and his wife's own home, just north of Taos in New Mexico. And his wife actually found this. This is an antique black forest carved frame. So she found that. That's a real antique. And then he painted this wonderful panel in the center of it. This is what he's known for. This is called a bird in the hand, and it's sort of a testament to the art of practicing gratitude. And the model in this piece is a family friend of theirs that had gone through years and years of cancer and chemotherapy and was practicing gratitude for every day that she had. And this is just a beautifully rendered piece. I think, again, the frame uniquely fits with the subject matter. This is exactly what Jim is known for, and he took it off the wall of his own home to bring it to this auction tonight. So we really appreciate that. It's gorgeous in person. So who'll start us off at $5,000 here on the Vogel? At $5,000, $3,000, I'll do it. $5,000, I'll do that. Now $5,500. At $5,500, all right, he's in the lead. $5,000 now, $5,500 to buy. At $5,500, $5,000 now, $5,500. $5,000 now, $5,500. Y'all bid him $5,500. Of course, Mr. Vogel at $5,500. I've got a bid here. Now $6,000. At $6,000, back in the room. Yes, sir. Now $6,500. Yes, ma'am. Now $7,000. All right. Now $7,500. All right. Appreciate your bids. At $7,500, now everyone else can bid. $7,500. New bidder. Now $8,000. Yes. Now $8,500. At $8,500. $8,000. Now $8,500. At $8,500. Well, it's worth $7,500. It's worth $8,500. $8,500. Now $9,000. Yeah. Now $9,500. No hesitation. Now $10,000. Oh, who's going to get this one? Now $11,000. At $11,000 next. Sure. She grabbed the paddle. Now $12,000. All right. Now $13,000. At $13,000. Why not? Now $14,000. At $14,000 to buy. One more time. What was that? One time. There we go. $14,000. Now $15,000. At $15,000. All right. Appreciate you guys. $14,000. Now $15,000. This gentleman is still in the lead. I'm still looking for bids on the Jim Vogel at $15,000. $14,000 now, $15,000. You guys out here can bid if you like at $15,000. $14,000 now, $15,000. $14,000 now, $15,000. It's absolutely gorgeous. Again, total cliche, but it does really actually pop off the wall. It just looks great. At $15,000, anyone else? At $15,000, don't want to miss you. $14,000 now, $15,000. We have a bid. We have a bid. Is that right? $14,000. $15,000 is bid. Now $16,000. Right back at you. At $16,000. God, you already imagined it on your wall. You had it home at $16,000. $15,000 now, $16,000. Yeah, well, at $16,000. $15,000 now, $16,000. All right, we're in the lead over here. Anyone else at $16,000, guys, on lot number 8? I got to go. At $16,000 once. Are you sure? You're going to regret it. Oh, it's a long car ride home. At $16,000. At $16,000 twice. Anyone outside? Selling. Sold. 15,000 over here. All right. Thank you. 459. You got it. Thank you very much, guys. Okay. Lot number 9. This is fun. Okay. All right. This is Kyle Ma. Everybody knows Kyle Ma. He's like the prodigy of the Western art world. 24 years old. He's already gotten so much attention, so many awards. He keeps selling out. He's doing his first national shows this year. Prix de West, the Autry. Also, Tim wanted me to mention that he's the youngest ever member of the Salmagundi Club, the art club in New York City. So there's that. I mean, you know, this guy's got it going on for a 24-year-old. This is called Taos Chamisa. You see the Chamisa there in the foreground, and again, being in Taos, that's the Sangre de Cristo Mountains there in the background. So this is just a wonderful piece by an up-and-coming star. And so I have 3,000 here. How about 3,250? At 3,000 now, 3,250 to buy. I'm in the room now, 3,500. Back over here now, 3,750 to you. If you like it now, 4,000. At 4,000 to buy, you can all bid. At 4,000, 3,750 down, 4,000. 4,000 new bidder now, 4,250. Back to you at 4,250, 4,000 now, 4,250. It's got to be worth that, guys. 4,250. This will go up in value at 4,250. 4,250 over here. All right. Now 4,500. 4,500. I don't know where my bidder was. 4,500, 4,250. But I'm in the lead over here. Now 47. Now 4,500 next. 4,500. Okay. He's back. 4,750. At 4,750. Who was bidding over here? 4,750. You were. Thank you. 4,750. Sorry about that. Now 5,000. 5,000 back over here. 5,500 would be next. Up to you on the Kyle Ma, 5,500, represented by Janice Hines Art Gallery here in San Antonio, among others. Thought I would say a shout out to Janice. At 5,500, 5,000 now, 5,500. At 5,500, want to try one more time? One time, 5,500. Okay, thank you very much. Now 6,000. She said yes. 6,000. Anyone else? At 6,000. You want to do more? All right, 6,000. Now 6,500. All right, appreciate your bids. Thank you, thank you. At 6,500 on lot number 9 at 6,500, that has got to be a good price long term. And it's a beautiful painting, such sensitive brushwork, guys. At 6,500, 6,000 in the room now, 6,500. One more time on lot number 9 at 6,500. You got a bid? 6,500. All right, now 7,000. All right, what do you want to do? 7,000? 7,000? Why not? At 7,000, 6,500, now 7,000. You're over here. Yeah, but I'm asking him. 7,000 at 7,000, 6,500, now 7,000. All right. One more time at 7,000. 7,000, new bidder. I'll be darned. Now 8,000. 7,500, now 8,000. At 8,000, what do you want to do? At 8,000, 7,500, 8,000. They're talking it over. 8,000. Well, 75. Oh, I skipped one, didn't I? Nice try. Now 8,000. Now 8,500. All right, I'm back on track. Sorry about that. 8,500. Old auctioneer trick. 8,500. 8,500. Now 9,000. All right, appreciate your bids. At 9,000. Okay, she's in the lead. Now 9,000 next here on this beautiful Kyle Ma Taos Chamisa at 9,000. At 9,000. Anyone else outside at 9,000? Okay, are we done? At 9,000. Fair warning and final at 9,000. Selling. Sold. 8,500 over here. The winner. All right. Okay, that brings us to one of the premier pieces in the event. Here again, this is one of those artists you can look across the room and you know exactly who you're looking at, right? This is Eric Bowman, a very distinctive style. Somewhat in the tradition of Herbert Dunton. This is called Firebrand, this Californian artist, known for this beautiful approach, sort of a flowing approach. And you see, I don't know if this is first light, last light, if there's an actual fire down there that the cowboy is looking at in the valley there, but this is called Firebrand, and those wonderful, distinctive clouds, among other things. Eric Bowman has just won every award again and been in every show, and has some very, very strong auction records. So this is investment-grade art, guys. There's no question about it. These are all winners because they were all picked out by many, many submissions from Tim and his team. So bid with confidence, okay? This is an Eric Bowman, and I have 14,000. We'll start there. How about 15,000 next? 14,000 now, 15,000. You can have a masterpiece on your wall at $15,000. 14 now, 15,000 to buy. At 15,000, 14 now, 15,000. Now you can bid if you like. At 15,000, 14 now, 15,000. 14 now, 15,000. 14 now, 15,000. Y'all bid at 15,000. 14 now, 15,000. Next bidder at 15,000. 14 now, 15,000. 14 now, 15. Fair warning at 15,000. 14 now, 15. Oh, what's better than that? Guys, take a second look at this one. It is an absolute masterpiece. It's at 15,000. I have it online. Now 16. At 15 now, 16,000 buy. 15 now, 16. 16, I have a bid outside. Thank you very much for getting my attention. Now 17. At 17, this gentleman's in the lead. Yes, take it out there. Thank you. At 17,000. 16, 17 back online. Thank you, Natalie. Now 18,000. 17 now, 18,000 next. 17 now, 18,000. Again, this is investment grade art. At 18,000. 17 now, 18,000 to go on the Bowman. At 18,000. 17 now, 18,000. You want to try one more time? At 18,000? Well, there's your bidder over there. At 18,000? Would you like to bid one more time? All right, 18,000. There's that bid. Now 19,000. 18 now, 19. All right, he's back in the lead. 18. Well, we're back online. Now 20,000. All right. At 20,000 next. Boy, look how good this painting looks on that screen. At 20,000. Got about 800 people waiting on you. No. You want to try 20,000 even? It's 20 even. Okay. Now 21,000. 20 now 21,000. I got nowhere to go. At 21,000. Back to the online bidder at 21,000. Or anyone else, guys, at 21,000. Still an open auction. You can bid if you like at 21,000. All right, back online. Now 22,000. Think about this again, huh? 22,000. 21 now 22. Okay, the bid now is 22. You want to do 22? Okay, now 23. All right, 24. It's like checkers. Your turn, now your turn. At 24. Current bid's 24. You say no? All right. Thank you very much for your bids. Okay, we're standing online at 23,000, guys. At 24,000 next. Fair warning at 24,000 the Bowman, or I'm selling it. 24,000, one more chance. Anyone else want to raise their hand and have a masterpiece in their wallet? 24,000, selling. Sold. 23,000 on Live Auctioneers. Buyer 435. I think we have a couple hundred folks with us online, right? Yeah. Okay, next we have lot number 11. This is the Brenda Murphy, and this is a interesting piece in charcoal and graphite. Now, what's interesting about this piece, here it is, thank you. What's interesting about this piece is that it is so sensitively wrought, but with such detail. Again, this is a very, very unforgiving medium, very difficult. And so what you see is a young Cheyenne woman, and she has a parasol. And it's an interesting piece of history that is actually a very highly prized object for the Great Plains people. And so she's very, very proud to have this parasol. And you see that the sun, what Murphy's done here is that the sun is dappling her person through the lace there on the edges of that umbrella. So it's a really beautiful and delicate piece done by Murphy. This is kind of exactly what she's known for. So we'll start off at $3,000 and now $3,250. $3,000 now $3,250 here on lot number, well, I forgot what lot number it is. Is it 9? 11. I'm close. At 3,000 now 3,250. At 3,250 at 3,250. 3,000 now 3,250. 3,000 now 3,250 to buy. 3,000 now 3,250. 3,000 now 3,250 to go. At 3,250. 3,000 now 3,250. You can all bid, guys, at 3,250 here on lot number 11. At 3,250. 3,000 bid now 3,250. At 3,250. Again, beautifully displayed in that sort of very deep framing there, almost like a shadow box under the glass. At 3,250 next. 3,000 now 3,250. Again, this is a longtime participant in the Night of Artists here, and of course this year too, Night of Artists 2025. I've got 3,000 standing, and now 3,250 next. At 3,250, anyone else at 3,250? It's better than that, I think. At 3,250, y'all take a second look at 3,250. Fair warning at 3,250. At 3,250, selling. Is that a bid? Okay, thank you for that bid. All right, I'll take that bid. Now 35. I need 3,500, Dalton. Gentleman in the room, I need 3,500 next. He did 3,250. All right, appreciate that. Now 3,750. At 3,750, we have another bid. Now 4,000. Now I need 4,000. I'm still out in the courtyard. 4,000. Thank you for that bid. Now 4,250. Here we go. Now we're getting somewhere. 4,250. All right, back outside. Now 4,500. 4,500 back inside. 4,750 next. At 4,750. Another $250. 4,750. I see a bid. Now 5,000 even. Can you do it? At 5,000? You can. Thank you very much. Now 5,500 next. At 5,000, now 5,500, y'all. At 5,500, 5,000, now 5,500. Still in the room with her. 5,500. No, I'm not. I'm outside with him. Now 6. At 6,000. 5,500, now 6,000. Go ahead. At 6,000. You want to do it? At 6,000. Anyone else at 6,000? Again, well, she said she changed her mind. Now 6,500. You can do that. 6,500. 6,000, now 6,500. 6,500. Yes. Now 7,000. He called your bluff. 7,000. 6,500, now 7,000. One more time. All right, appreciate your bids. Thank you. Anyone else? It's 7,000. 6,500, 7,000 here in the Brenda Murphy. At 7,000. 6,500, 7,000. Fair warning then. I don't want to miss you. 7,000. At 7,000. Anyone else outside at 7,000 or I'm selling it? Here we go. Sold. 6,500 over here. Buyer number 1. Buyer number 1. Okay, thank you. All right, moving on. Here's another one. Okay, this is a local piece, local interest. South Texas. This is actually an Austin artist, Brian Grimm. This is another moment that he saw in person. So he was in a blind in the South Texas brush country, and you guys locals, you know what this looks like. And he was just waiting there in the early morning light, and out from the brush comes 2 doe and then this 10-point spread following the does. So he decided again to memorialize this in his art, and it's just a beautiful piece, and he's got the lighting so perfect on this. Again, beautiful frame. So here's the Brian Grimm. We'll start off at $5,000. Who would like to bid $5,000? I appreciate that bid. Now $5,500 next. I've got your bid. And now $5,500, and you can bid next at $5,500 to $5,000. Now $5,500 to buy. $5,000 now $5,500. $5,000 now $5,500, please. At $5,500. $5,000 now $5,500 on 10-point spread by Brian Grimm. This is new work from 2025. At $5,500, go ahead at $5,500. Yes. Now $6,000. At $6,000 back inside. At $6,000. Yes. Now $6,500. Yes. Now $7,000. At $7,000 back. Yes. Now $7,500. Yes. Now $8,000. At $8,000 back to you. Now $8,500. Yes. Now $9,000. At $9,000. $9,000. Oh, you shouldn't. Don't let it go there. At $9,000. You can take it over that way if you like. At $9,000. One more time. At $9,000. At $9,000. Yes. Thank you, sir. Now $9,500. All right. We're in the room at $9,000. Now $9,500. At $9,500. All right, leading bidders in the room at $9,000, now $9,500, guys. Anyone else at $9,500 here in a beautiful South Texas scene at $9,500? Fair warning at $9,500. Don't want to miss you at $9,500. Anyone else at $9,500? Okay, fair warning then. Selling. Sold at $9,000. The winner right there. He started the bidding and he ended it. What's your bid number on your paddle? 197. 197. Thank you very much. Okay. Lot number 13. This is Scott Christensen's. This is the Canadian Rockies. Again, quoting Tim Newton, our wonderful curator for tonight's event, he thinks he's one of the premier landscape artists in the West. And if you look at this, it sort of speaks for itself. When I look at this, I think, you know, sometimes you find yourself in nature, especially in the American West, and you see a vista or something, and you think about taking a photo. And then in the moment, you sort of, your heart sinks because you're thinking, there's no way I can capture this in a photo. This would never read. No one would ever kind of get what I'm seeing. Why? And that's why I think this is such a remarkable achievement here in this painting, because he's sort of nailed it. He sort of got the grandeur, the vista, the depth of this area of North America, the Canadian Rockies. So this is just a wonderful piece. And we'll start off at, do you have any bids? 3,500. Okay, now 3,750. 3,500, now 3,750 to go. On this Christensen at 3,750. Now you can bid if you like at 3,750. 3,500, now 3,750 to buy at 3,750. Any bidders over here at 3,750. 3,500, now 3,750. See what we're selling. Lot number 13, Scott Christensen at 3,750. And this gentleman's actually had two-man shows with our next artist, and we'll talk about that in a second. We are only at 3,250, now 3,500, guys. Okay, now 3,750. Now 4,000, 3,750, now 4,000. All right, you see what we're doing now? 4,000, 3,750, now 4,000. 370 down 4,000. Back in the room at 4,000. 370 down 4,000. Boy, the weather cooperated with us, didn't it? 4,000. Now 4,250. All right, new bidder at 4,250 then. At 4,000 now 4,250. 4,000 now 4,250. You guys online are caught up? Okay, 4,250. Anyone else? At 4,000 now 4,250. At 4,250. 4,000 now 4,250 on the Christensen at 4,250. 4,250 is bid. Now 4,500. Now 4,750. Now 5,000. Okay, 5,250. Would you do 5,500? They wanted to cut bid. All right, this gentleman's in the lead. Now I need a full 6,000. 5,500 in the room. Now 6,000. At 6,000 where? 5,500 now 6,000, guys. At 6,000, it's still better than that, I think. At 6,000, 5,500 now 6,000. Fair warning at 6,000. At 6,000 once. 6,000 twice. Anyone else on the Scott Christensen, the Canadian Rockies at 6,000. Selling then. Sold 5,500. This gentleman right here, 54. 54 in the front bend. All right. Okay, now I just talked about this gentleman. This is the one who had the two-man shows with Christensen. This is Quang Ho. An amazing biography. If you guys look in your catalog notes about this gentleman, it's really a wild story. But, and again, I'll quote Tim, the sensitivity in this beautiful piece, which is called Sunflower Fields, approaches that of John Singer Sargent. The composition, the execution, and the lighting and the sensitivity, again, it's just a masterpiece of composition. This is, for what it is, one of the best paintings in the sale tonight. Absolutely, no question about it. And again, a rising star here. I think he sold out at Western Horizons not too long ago. So this is, again, investment-grade art. So we'll start off at 5,000, 5,500, now 6,000 next. At 5,500, now 6,000. In the room, now 6,500. At 6,000, at 6,000 with the gentleman here. At 6,000 next, 6,000, now 6,500. All right, now 7,000. At 7,000, 6,500, now 7,000. Now everyone else can bid if they like. At 7,000, 6,500, now 7,000. 7,000, new bidder, now 7,500. Standing in the room, now 8,000. Maybe seated in the room, now 8,500. Now 9. 9 here. She was ahead of you. Would you do 9.5? 9,500 or 9,500 here? Yes. Well, now he's beat you again. I'll give you a first shot. Would you like 10,000? That's only fair. At 10, okay, you're in the lead. Would you like 11,000? Now 12,000. Or 12,000 here. Now 13,000. At 13,000 where? This is, again, this is a masterpiece, guys. At 13,000. All right, now 14,000. The Impressionists have nothing on this guy. At 14,000. Or 14,000. 14,000, yes. Now 15,000. Yes, now 16,000. Or 16,000 here. She's in the lead. 16,000. Now everyone else can bid if you like. Excuse me. So 16,000, 15, now 16,000. At 16,000 on lot 14, everybody here out in the courtyard at 16,000. 15, now 16,000 to buy. Take a good look at 16,000. Fair warning then at 16,000 on lot number 14 at 16,000. Anyone else? One more time in the room at 16,000. 15, now 16. Selling. Okay. Sold. $15,000 right over here. You win. 497. 497. Congratulations. That really is a good painting. Okay. Moving on. We have the Nicholas Coleman. There it is. Oh, man. This is absolutely in the style of Russell, isn't it? I mean, this is like Russell. This is called A Long Day. The artist talks about how when you're a cowboy and you're working out in the range, that you can only work when the sun's up, right, when there's light. And so you work from first light to last light. And the ultimate luxury all day long you're thinking about is kicking your boots off and hanging out by the fire. And this is what's happening here in this one. You see the two cowboys actually with their boots right there. This is just a wonderful piece. Again, very much in the style of Russell. So we'll start off on this one at $3,000. Now $3,250. $3,000 now $3,250 next. At $3,250, $3,000 now $3,250. All but have been $3,250. At $3,000 now $3,250. I have it in the room now $3,500. $3,250 now $3,500 next. At $3,500, $3,250 now $3,500. At $3,500, you guys out here, take a look at this one. It's good. At $3,500, $3,250 now $3,500. I have a bid. $3,500 now $3,750. At $3,750, back in here now $4,000. Now $4,250. At $4,250, $4,000 now $4,250. $4,250 now $4,500. At $4,250 now $4,500. At $4,250 now $4,500. Go ahead, don't worry about it. At $4,500, $4,250 now $4,500. Anyone else at $4,500 on lot number 15? That's still a great price, guys. $4,500. Thank you for getting my attention. Now $4,750. Now $5,000. All right, $5,500 next. Go ahead. At $5,500, you're out. Yes, you're in. Now 6. 6. Now 6,500. 7. 7,500. Anyone else? 7. Now 7,500. That's called a pregnant pause. Now 8,000. At 8,000. And we'll do it again. 8,000. 7,500. Now 8,000. You're out. I need 8,000 to get back in. No, you're out. Sorry, 8,000. Now you're in. Now 8,500. Now you're out. Now 9. Boy, she didn't hesitate for a second. Now 9. I like it. 9,000. Yes. Now 9,500. Yes. Now 10,000. Get to take a big old swig of beer. 10,000. $10,000. Why not? Make some more money tomorrow. $10,000. Yes. Now 11. Yes. Now 12. Boy, it's easy to spend money, isn't it? 12,000. 11 now 12. Gentleman needs another beer, please. Domestic, import, it doesn't matter. 12,000. 11, 12. I was thinking about it. 12,000. You know you want this painting. I mean, everyone knows that, clearly. $12,000. All right. Anyone else at 12 grand? 11 now 12. Fair warning then at 12,000 on the Nicholas Coleman. I'm selling it, y'all. Here we go. Fair warning. 12,000. That's a slick move. 13. 14. All right. Appreciate it. Yeah, you just make them pay for it, right? Yeah, there you go. I like it. All right. Where the hell am I? Are you at 14? Okay, thank you. Now 15. Everyone in the room knows but me. At 15,000. 14 now 15,000. Fair warning then, for real, at 15,000. Once, twice, selling. Sold. 14,000 over here. Yes. 459. That's her second one tonight. 459. Thanks, guys. 459. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Oh boy. All right. So here is, you're not supposed to play favorites, but I don't care. This is one of my favorites in the auction. The Briscoe actually used this. You might have seen in a lot of the marketing materials for tonight's event, and there's actually posters up there in the main museum, and there's a reason for that. This is an incredible canvas by Jeremy Winborg. So sensitively wrought. We're telling a story as usual. This is the story of the bond between siblings. So this is called My Sister and Me, and the two native girls that are there in the field. It looks like springtime. These are sort of daffodil-like flowers that are springing up there in the middle of the plains, and they are just their composition and just the way they're laying against each other is so familiar, and that's sisters clearly. And so Jeremy's here. There he is. Hi. Great job. This is a great. I know many of the artists are here tonight, so this is just such a privilege to sell these things. This is so beautiful. It's so big. It's so impressive in person. I understand. I read, and is this true that you guys travel around as a family? You go to places? Okay, very good. So that's what you're seeing here, and then just an incredible piece. So let us sell it, and we'll see who gets this one, and we'll start off at $15,000. Who will say $15,000 here on lot number 16? $15,000 on the Jeremy Winborg. My Sister and Me at $15,000. Who wants to start the bidding here on this piece at $15,000? I have a lot of folks that are holding their bid paddles at $15,000. At $15,000. We'll walk back inside at $15,000. Let you think about it. At $15,000. 15 I have. Thank you. Appreciate you starting the bidding. Now 16,000. Now the rest of you can bid at 16,000. 15 now 16,000. At 16,000. Again, this is one of the cover pieces in tonight's auction. At 16,000. 15 now $16,000. At 15 now $16,000. And now you can bid if you like. 15 now 16,000. At 16,000. 15 now 16. At 15 now 16. And you can lean it this way if you like. 16,000. 15 now 16 is bid. Now 17. Yeah, okay. 17. 16 now 17,000. 17,000. Anyone else at 17,000? 16 now 17. I also read, and you can tell me if this is not true, or maybe it just sounds good, that you are known especially, well, I know this is true, you're known especially for your sensitive portrayals of empowered Native American females, right? And so you've gotten so much notoriety for that, and this is another good example of that. So this is what he's known for. At 16, now 17,000. At 17, 17.5, sure. Now 18,000. 17.5, now 18. At 18,000. 75, now 18,000. At $18,000 on lot number 16 at $18,000. 17.5, now 18,000. At 18,000. Raise your paddle if you like at 18,000. 75, now 18,000. This is what we're here for tonight. This exact thing at $18,000. 17.5, now 18,000. At 18,000, thanks guys. At 18,000, 75, now 18. At 18, I don't want to miss you. At 18,000, it's a better painting here, guys. At 18,000, 17.5, now 18. Raise your paddle, guys. If you like this beautiful painting, it will, again, pop off your wall. At 18,000, 17.5, now 18,000. At 18,000, 17.5, now 18. 17.5, now 18. All right, go inside one more time. At 18,000, 17.5, now 18. Let me know. Get my attention. At 18,000, 17.5, now 18,000. You have a masterpiece on your wall. At 18,000, 17.5, now 18,000. At 18,000. Anyone else? At 18,000. Are you sure? At 18,000. Okay. We're going to move to lot number 17. All right, this is, thanks guys, appreciate that. This is a Morris. This is a Bonnie Marris. So this is an interesting piece because Marris is very, very passionate. She'll tell you about wolves. And that's what this is depicting. And this is a kind of painting that it looks great from across the room, but also looks good from 5 feet away. But when it's really amazing is when you're up close. If you guys had a chance in the gallery to look at this painting up close, the incredible detail that she puts in the fur, like every little strand of fur on the tops of these wolves is incredible. It's amazing. It's the kind of painting that if you own this, I don't think you could walk past it without stopping for a second every single time and just marveling at what she has done here. It's incredible. Now here again, the story. She saw this happen up in the Canadian Rockies, that there's these 2 wolves that had found a stick and that they were just playing with them. Not just for the love of the game. They were not competing. They were not fighting. They were not hunting. They were just playing with a stick, just almost like dogs. And so that's what she did. And memorializing this is called The Best Stick Ever, which is that's the best title ever. So this is a great piece, the Bonnie Marris. And we'll start here at, what do you have? 15,000. All right, now 16,000 next. 15 now, 16,000. Again, this is the winner. I'm 16,000 on the phone, now 17 to you. Now 18,000. 17 now 18,000 to you. At 18,000, 18 back in there. Now 19, now 20. 19 now 20,000. And 19 now 20. This is all remote bidding. 20, I'm in the room. I'm ahead of you. Would you do 21? You're out. She's in. 21 next. 21 on the phone. Now 22. Now you can bid again if you like at 22. 20. You're at 21. Yes, ma'am. You're in the lead. Now 22. At 22 to buy. 22. Thank you. Now 23. At 23 next. 22 now. 23. Sure. Now on the phone. Now 24. Yes, sir. Now 25. Yes, ma'am. Now 26. 27. 28. 29. This one's special. 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 'They're jumping to 40. You want to do 42? 44. 46. 48. 50. 55. They jumped to 50. 55. Now 60. 65. You want to do a cut bid? 62,500, 65,000. I'll stick with that. 67,500, just to confuse everyone. Now 70,000. 72,500. 75. He's just saying yes. 80? 85. 90. Would 87,500 help? You knew I was going to say that. 87,500 one more time? Okay, now 90,000 even. They said yes. Okay. Even so, I'm going to give you a second to talk it over. I'm standing on the phone at 90,000 even. I guess 95 would be next. Up to y'all. And then maybe they'll do 100 and we'll have a big round of applause. Want to try? You say no? All right. No, fair enough. That's a lot of money. At 95,000. At 95,000, anyone else? At 95,000 here in the Bonnie Marris. At 95,000. Is it a moot point to ask y'all? At 95,000 once. At you better sit in your hands. 95,000 twice. Anyone else? Look, guys, this is an incredible painting. 95,000. Want to try it? Okay. Okay. Just making darn sure. Anyone else at 95,000? I'm selling it. Sold. $90,000 on the phone. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was fun. All right. The next piece is by Todd Connor. And that's his wife yelping over there, I bet. Interesting story. Okay, guys, here again. I know that was exciting. We got the next painting. Here we go. This is another story, and this one is really a good one, and it's in San Antonio. So, if you guys have never heard of this person, again, a real person from real life, Katie Jennings. She's the Paul Revere of Texas. It's an incredible story. Again, go on Wikipedia or anywhere, some more, but there's a long Wikipedia page about this person because after the fall of the Alamo, just up the street, in 1836, Katie's dad was one of the defenders and perished. Her mom sent her on this wild 40-mile desperate ride to go warn all the remaining Texians of what had happened at the Alamo and that Santa Anna was on the march. And she did that, and it's an incredible story of bravery. And then back in the sort of side background of this painting, of this canvas, you can see the smoldering remains of the Alamo. And then here in the morning, she's hitting the road. And this is a real story, and it's an incredible story. And it's just so beautifully wrought, and I understand, incredibly, that we have some descendants of Katie Jennings with us tonight. Outside, right? They're still here in San Antonio. That's really cool. That's really cool. Just a beautiful piece by Todd Connor. So, who'll start us off? You have 6,000? All right, we'll start there. 6,000 now 6,500. That was easy. 6,500, 6,000 now 6,500. Another 6,500, thank you. Again, it has the story. And by the way, just a great painting, too. She's coming right at you. Beautiful sky. At 6,500 now, 7,000. Sorry, I'm in your way. 7,000 next. You want 7? 7 outside. I got you. 7,000 outside. Thank you, Dalton. Now 7,500 next. All right, I'm inside. Now 8,000 even. At 8,000, y'all. At 8,000. Yes, 8,000. Thank you, Jason. Now 8,500. All right, inside. Now 9,000. 9,000 is bid. Now 9,500. At 9,500, go ahead at 9,500. 9,000, now 9,500. 9,500, now 10,000. What do y'all want at 10,000? Sure, now 11. 10, now 11. The story just gives you chills. It's really amazing. At 11,000, 10,000, now 11. At 11,000, anyone else? At 11,000. Thank you very much, Mr. G. Now 12,000. At 12,000. 11, now 12. Now I need 12, Dalton. All right, I got it. Now 13. You want to go for it? 13. Thank you, sir. Now 14. The Ride of Katie Jennings. 14 is bid. Now 15. Yes. Now 16. Here we go. 16,000. Why not? All right, at 16,000. Everyone else can bid now if you like. At 16,000, 15 now, 16,000. Fair warning at 16,000. Mr. G's in the lead. 15,000 now, 16, or I'm selling. Fair warning again. Don't want to miss your bid. Sold. 15,000 here in the room. Mr. Jack Genther. 471. 471. Thank you, Jack. Okay, Teresa Elliott. I know we gave a shout out to the Aggies in the room before. Doesn't mean this is a Longhorn piece, but it is a Longhorn piece. This is Teresa Elliott. This is exactly what she's known for, this wonderful Longhorn. She's such a great colorist, and we've sold her. Briscoe has sold her. She's been at Jackson Hole, Scottsdale, Coeur d'Alene, and San Antonio. And so this is just a great example of her work. So we'll start off at 6,000 this time. Now 6,500 next. 6,000 now, 6,500 in the wonderful Teresa Elliott Goodnight Trail. I should have said the name of the piece, Goodnight Trail. And of course, that's the Goodnight Cattle Trail, where they, were herding all the cattle up from West Texas up through New Mexico and Colorado. And that, of course, was the rough basis for Larry McMurtry's iconic novel, Lonesome Dove. So on this piece, Goodnight Trail, it's called. I've got 6,000 now, 6,500 next. At 6,000 now, 6,500. At 6,000 now, 6,500 again. The exact subject matter this artist is known for. At 6,500, go ahead. At 6,500, 6,000 now, 6,500. 6,000 now, 6,500. Go ahead at 6,500. Anyone outside? At 6,500. 6,000 now, 6,500. Quickly at 6,500. Oh, it's better than that. At 6,500, 6,000 now, 6,500. Again, the piece by Teresa Elliott. At 6,500 once. At 6,500 twice. Wow, that's a surprise. At 6,500. Anyone else want to bid here at 6,500? 6,500's bid. We have a bidder. Thank you for that, guys. Now 7,000. 6,500 now 7,000. Go ahead at 7,000. 6,500 now 7,000. At 7,000. 6,500 now 7,000. At 7,000. 7,000. All right. How about 7,500? Back over here. Now 8,000. 8,500. All right. Now 9,000. 9,000. I don't do a lot of indoor-outdoor auctions. This is very 9,000. It's cool, though. And, again, I love the weather. The weather cooperated. Thank you, Lord. At 9,000, anyone else at 9,000? Fair warning at 9,000. I've got 8,500 inside. At 9,000, at 9,000. One more time on the Elliott at 9,000. I think UT might have a football team this year. Yeah, you're in the lead. You're in the lead. 8,500. Now 9,000. Anyone else? At 9,000, selling. Sold. $8,500 to the gentleman over there. Thank you very much. What was your number again? 192 to the couple. Thank you. 192. Thank you again. You got the Elliott. All right. Moving on to, again, just one of the more interesting pieces. This is Shawn Michael Chavez. This is, again, an incredibly distinctive technique and style that he's put together in this piece called Winds of Jornada. That is, of course, the area around Las Cruces and Socorro, New Mexico, that part of the country. And you look at this in the modernist style, he's got a very distinct foreground, middle, and also background, and those geometric clouds there in the background. This is such a cool piece from this up-and-coming artist, again, getting all kinds of notice and awards, and now happy to have him here at the Briscoe. So we'll start off at 4,000, now 4,250, 4,000 now 5,500 online, now 6,000, all right, skip up there, 5,500 now 6,000, 6,000 next on this wonderful piece by Shawn Michael Chavez, 6 in the room, now 6,500, back online, 7, 7,500, 7,500 in the room. Thank you for getting our attention. Appreciate that. I've got him in the lead now. 8,000. Yes, I'm still in the room here now. 8,500. I've got 3 bidders going at 8,500. I'll take your bid outside if you like at 8,500. At 8,500. Anyone else over here at 8,500 or back online at 8,500? At 8,500. 8,500 back outside now. 9. Can you do it at 9,000 even? It's a great piece. At 9,000. At 9,000 where? Winds of Jornada at 9,000, 8,500 outside asking 9,000. One more time at 9,000. I know I had a bunch of bidders, lots of interest here at 9,000. At 9,000, still a good price, I think, at $9,000. Again, distinctive style here. At $9,000, anyone else? At 9,000, I'm still out here at 8,500, now 9,000. Fair warning then at 9,000. At 9,000, I have an online bid. Now 9,500. What do y'all want to do out there? 9,500. Want to bid again? 9,500. 9,000 online. Now 9,500. Yes. Now 10,000. Here we go. At 10,000. Give them just a moment online at 10,000. We have a live stream going at $10,000. 9,500 now, 10,000. Anyone else at 10,000? I know I had several bidders here on the Chavez at 10,000. You can jump back in right now if you like. At 10,000 even, that might take it home. I don't know. At 10,000, I appreciate your bids. At 10,000, anyone else? All right, fair warning to the online bidders. And fair warning to everyone else at 10,000. At 10,000 once, 10,000 twice. Selling. Sold. $9,500 to this bidder outside. $51,501. Okay, is the winning bidder. Thank you very much. Okay, this is another artist that is here with us tonight, Michael C. Dudash, and this is another piece I understand but from the artist that is trying to represent something that he has experienced in nature himself. So you guys have probably experienced this too, especially around the American West, that when you're in nature, there may come a moment where you just find yourself in stillness, in peaceness, totally connected to the world, and everything's just sort of quiet. And so this is called Tranquility of a Forest Spring, and it's that moment of tranquility that Dudash is trying to capture here in this piece. You have the native on horseback there, the spring sort of gushing out of the side of the mountain, but he is totally alone, and he is having that moment that, again, I know that all of us here in this room have had in the past. So, beautiful piece by, again, a very award-winning artist. Again, several more of his pieces upstairs. Lots of great art in the galleries, as I'm sure you saw earlier tonight, okay? So here at Night of Artists 2025, we'll start at 7,000. Now 7,500 next. At 7,000 now 7,500 to buy. Now you can bid if you like. At 7,000 now 7,500. At 7,000 now 7,500. Again, very, very complimentary framing. At 7,500. 7,000 now 7,500. This is called Tranquility of a Forest Spring. At 7,500. At 7,500. And you can bid now if you like. At 7,500 in the room. Thank you. Now 8,000. At 8,000. At 75. Was that a bid? Yes, okay. 75 now 8,000, just making sure. At 8,000, 75 now 8,000. She's in the lead. 75 now 8,000. At 8,000 where? 75 now 8,000. At 8,000, yes. Now 8,500. At 8,500, 8,000 now 8,500. If they like it at 8,500, the Dudash. At 8,500, 8,000 now 8,500. 8,000 now 8,500. They're talking about it. At 8,500. At 8,500, 8,000 now 8,500. Back to this family or anyone else. 8,500, sure. Now 9,000. Now 9,000, if you like it at 9,000, 85 now 9,000. It's just a beautiful piece. There it is at 9,000. 85 now 9,000. 9,000, now 9,500. Uh-oh. At 9,500, 9,000 now 9,500. At 9,500, 9,000 now 9,500. At 9,500. They're asking to see it. At 9,500, 9,000 now 9,500. At 9,500, one more time. At 9,500, still in the four figures, guys. 9,500, sure. Now 10,000. 9,500, now 10,000. They're back in the lead. I need 10,000 next. At 10,000, 9,500, now 10,000, guys, outside. At 10,000, 9,500, now 10,000. At 10,000, 9,500, now 10,000. Fair warning at 10,000. At 10,000 once. At 10,000 twice. Selling. Sold. 9,500 over here. You win. You guys win. I think it's a whole table bidding, right? All right, thank you, guys. Okay, here's another artist who I know is here tonight, Shawn Cameron. Sixth generation, 308, I apologize. Sixth generation horsewoman. She knows of what she paints, I can tell you, because I understand that her studio is right next to the horse barn, the turnout pasture. It's right there. So this is, I think, something we can all empathize with. This is called So It Begins Again. So you get up in the morning, and you got to saddle up your horse, whether literally or metaphorically. And so it begins again. And so it's just a wonderful piece by this artist, again, who has been part of the Briscoe family for a long time, Shawn Cameron. So we'll start off here at 3,000. Now 3,250 where? On the Shawn Cameron. I'm on the phone, I guess. Now 3,500. Now 3,750 against you. At 3,750, 35 to 3,750 back on the absentee bid is what you're doing. Now 4,000 next. 3,750 now 4,000. 3,750 now 4,000 to buy. 3,750 now 4,000. At 4,000. 3,750 now 4,000. Everyone can bid if you like it at 4,000. 3,750 now 4,000. 4,000. 4,250, 4,500, 4,750, 4,750, now 5, 5,500, 6, 6,500, 7. All right, you're out. Absentee bid is out. 6,500, now 7,000. At 7,000, we're selling the Shawn Cameron, everybody, lot number 22. At 7,000 next. 6,500 now 7,000. 6,500 in the room, asking 7,000. Come out here, guys, and give y'all a look at this wonderful painting by Shawn Cameron. Again, So It Begins Again at 7,000. 6,500 now 7,000. Any bidders out here at 7,000? At 7,000, appreciate you guys being here tonight at the Briscoe. At 7,000, fair warning then, I'm going to come back inside at 7,000. 6,500 now 7,000. Any advances? Any other bidders at 7,000? Or I'm going to say sold at 7,000 once and twice. Selling 7,000. I have a new bid. Now 7,500. She's right back at you. Now 8. At least you have a good attitude about it. 8,000. Nothing funnier. 8,000. All right. Now 9,000 or 8,500. Nice try. 8,500. Now 9,000. All right. Appreciate you, Mr. H. At 9,000. 8,500. She's still in the lead. Now 9,000 where? Fair warning then at $9,000. So I'm going to sell it. Okay, here we go. Anyone else outside at 9,000? Sold. 8,500 in the room. Nice buy. 6. Buyer number 6. Guys, we only have a few more left, but they're good ones. And so we're going to start out with this Bruce Cheever. Now, Bruce Cheever is a name we're all familiar with. Absolutely. This is an incredible piece. He's in Utah. I would imagine this is in Utah, if not maybe Arizona, but probably Utah because these are the southern Paiute Indians that he is describing or depicting here in this piece. The incredible lighting coming through the canyon walls as the Paiute Indians come through it. This is an incredible piece. This artist known for, again, this exact subject matter. And interestingly, this artist is known to use sort of mathematical equations to put together his composition, like the golden mean and things like that. So that's kind of why it's probably so pleasing to our eyes. But it's just a wonderful piece depicting that incredible part of the American West. So on this one, we'll start off at, looking at my bids here, we'll start off at 8,000. Thank you. Now 8,500. 8,000. I don't want to miss any bids. We have some absentee bids tonight. 8,000 now $8,500. Now you can bid if you like. At 8,000 now $8,500 in the Bruce Cheever. Big name, good name in Western art, guys, and for obvious reasons. At 8,500 outside. Thank you. Now 9,000. Now you can bid if you like. At 9,000, 8,500 now 9,000. 9,000 in the room. 9,500 next. Boy, this one's good. 9,500 sure. Outside now 10,000. 9,500 now 10,000 even. Up to y'all. At 10,000, 9,500 now 10,000. Think about what you're getting. At 10,000, what would this cost in a gallery, right? At 10,000, 9,500 now 10,000 in Santa Fe or Scottsdale, somewhere like that. At 10,000 even, 9,500 now 10,000, y'all. At 10,000, one more time. Now 11. All right, now 12. At 12,000, 11 now 12. Fair warning at 12,000, 11 now 12,000. All right. I'll give you all the time you need. 12,000. If you got a spot in the wall for it. 12,000. 13. 14. That didn't take long. At 14,000. 13,500. I mean, was that a quarter bid? I'm telling you, you guys are like auction pros. All right, now 15. They're doing some cattle auction stuff out here. 15. 14,500 is bid, now 15. Dalton against your bidder. Or anyone else at 15,000 even. All right. Okay, need another conference. 16. Or whatever you want to bid. 16. Okay, conference is called. It's called over. Conference is over. Fair enough. 15 now 16. 15 now 16,000. Anyone says 16,000 here on this gorgeous Bruce Cheever at 16,000. Fair warning then. Any other bids? I don't want to miss you because this is a really good painting. At 16,000 once, 16,000 twice. Fair warning. Sold. $15,000 to our bidder outside. Thank you, Dalton. 125. 125 is the bidder. Okay, we just have 2 more pieces left. I think this is Dustin Van Wechel, right? Okay. This is a piece called, again, this is one of the ones that Tim said, you've got to hold this for the show because he thinks, and I agree, that this is Dustin's absolute masterpiece. And here again, this is based on a real experience that the artist had where he was hiking in Colorado and came upon this group of Colorado mountain goats. And so just, you know, a moment where he, again, just took his breath away and thought, my God, I've got to memorialize this in my art. And he did an incredible job on this. So the icing on the cake refers to he had such a long day hiking. This moment, this vista with these animals was the icing on the cake of his experience. So also, you know, double meaning there with the snow and the, you know, white fur and all that good stuff. So this is just a beautiful piece here. And so we'll start off at, and again, I don't want to miss my bids here. We'll start off at $5,000. Now $5,500 next. $5,000 now $5,500. That's a no-brainer. Now $6,000. Go ahead at $6,000. $5,500 now $6,000. Now you can bid if you like it. $6,000. $56,000 over here. Thank you for that. Now $6,500. Sure. Now 7. Now 7 right back at you, sir. At $7,000. Or anyone else? 7. Thank you. Now $7,500 back at you, ma'am. $7,500. Sure. Now 8. At $8,000 to buy. At $8,000, $7,500, $8,000. Very much in the tradition of Carl Rungus, right? If you guys are familiar with that. Western artist. So this is very much in that tradition, and that's a real high compliment, okay? So $7,500 now $8,000 next. She's in the lead. $8,000, anyone else? At $8,000, $7,500, $8,000. New bidder. Now 9. Now $9,500. Now 10. At $10,000. Want to try one more time? Now 11. All right, appreciate your bids. 10 now 11. She's still in the lead. 10 now 11,000, guys, here in the Van Wechel. At 10 now 11. At 10,000 now 11,000. Anyone else outside? At 10 now 11. At 10 now 11 now 11,000. 10 now 11,000. After this, we only have one more painting. At 11,000. 10 now 11,000. Fair warning then at $11,000. And this absolute, and again, it's a cliche, but again, this is a masterpiece. There's no question about it. At $11,000. Fair warning at $11,000. All right. We went outside. Now we go inside. That's how this works, apparently. A little treadmill at $11,000. Fair warning, $11,000. I knew we'd have another bidder. Now $12,000. Uh-oh. $12,000. Well, no hesitation. Now 13. At 13, I'll get out of the way of the art. 13. Now 14. Now 15. Here we go. All right, all right, all right. Appreciate those bids, guys. That really helps. I mean, again, we're supporting the Briscoe. We're supporting the artists. What a noble cause in both cases, right? All right, 14 now 15,000. At 15,000. Anyone else at 15,000? And then you get a beautiful painting. At 15,000, fair warning. At 15,000, selling. Sold. 14,000, she wins. She wins. Start the bidding and end of the bidding. Congratulations. Okay, this is our final piece. What's that? Oh. My apologies. 303 is the buyer. And we have a special guest. You guys know this guy. Tim Newton, the curator and the man most responsible for putting this collection together tonight. This guy's a big deal, and you've done incredible work to bring all these artists, all these patrons together tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Tim. And he's holding the final painting, possibly, dare I say, the most famous artist of all in tonight's auction. This is John Coleman. He clearly has catwalk experience. He's doing a fine job, Tim. All right, he's going outside. So, this is John Coleman. This is an incredible piece. This artist known for his visual arts, obviously his bronze sculpture as well. His world record, I can't remember if it was Scottsdale, 299,000. This is called Of Heaven and Earth. This is a Sioux chieftain, and he's got the two symbols of heaven and earth, which are the buffalo. And it's just an incredible portrait. So much dignity, so much pride, so much strength in this piece. Tim, wouldn't you agree? Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Phenomenal piece. Okay. Again, investment grade art. There's no question about it. So we've got lots of interest in this one. 17, 17.5, 18, 19. How about 20,000 even? At 20,000 now you can bid if you like it. At 19 now $20,000 here on this beautiful John Coleman. I'm in the room now. 21,000 over there. Now 22,000 over here. At 22,000, 20 now 22 now 23. At 23 you say no. 23. Any other bidders at 23? Then he's in the lead at 22, asking 23,000 here on a John Coleman. At $23,000. 22 now 23. At 23,000, pick up your bid paddles, everybody. At $23,000. At 22 now 23. It's a stunning piece. At 23,000. At 23,000, this artist regularly sells in the six figures at auction. at 23,000. 22 now 23 at 23,000. 22 now 23,000. Now you can bid if you like at 23,000. Gentleman over here is still in the lead at 22 only. Now 23,000. At 23,000, please. At 22,000, now 23,000. At 22, now 23,000 here at the Briscoe in San Antonio, Texas. At $23,000. At $23,000. I'll give you a moment to think about this. It is a better painting than that. At $23,000, I'm in the room. Thank you very, very much. Now 24,000. Thank you very much. Now 25,000. Back to y'all. At 25,000, 24 against the wall. Now 25 back in the center maybe. At 25,000. They're talking it over. Everybody, please do consider bidding on this piece. 25, they say yes. Now 26, what do you say? At 26,000, 25, now 26. At 26,000 next. They're talking it over. 26,000, 25, now 26. 26, now 27. Was that, did you want to do 27? Okay, thank you. Now 28, just want to make sure. At 28, all right, now 29. Now 30. Okay, 31. Make this nice and easy. 31. Yes. Now 32. Okay. You could say you have a John Coleman in your home, on your wall. At 32. 31 in the lead here in the center of the room. Now 32. Everyone else could bid at 32,000. At 32,000. Again, this is called Of Heaven and Earth. Wonderful piece. At 32,000 then. 32,000, new bidder. New bidder, new bidder. Now 33,000. Not sure what the conversation is. 33, 34. Say, who's that guy over there? 34, 35. Okay, she said yes. 36. They can have it. Okay. He put his bid card, his bid paddle down. It seems serious. 36, anyone else? 35 now. 36. You guys are in the lead. At 36,000 next. Anyone else? At 36,000. I don't want to miss you. It's the last piece in today's auction, held up by our very own Tim Newton at 36,000. Fair warning at 36,000. Anyone outside at 36,000? The John Coleman, or I'm going to sell it. And sold. Ganther family right here in the center. Thank you. Thank you very much. Wow. Thank you very much. Thank you, Tim. Guys, you get an incredible auction this year. 2025 was an incredible auction. Thank you very much for your participation. Man, this was so fun. Appreciate you. We're going to bring Liz back up on stage.
Thank